air pressure without a container is like tire pressure without a tire. So I got a question on the bottom. How do we live in a pressurized system next to a perfect vacuum without containment? I know you got something to say on this one.
Sure, I sure do. There are laws of physics that people like globe proponents that would support the idea that we live on a spinning ball shooting through outer space. They would say that there are laws of physics and y'all are denying them because flat Earth would, be against the laws of physics. We're here to tell you there's a law of physics called the laws of thermodynamics. Whereas the second law of thermodynamics dictates that a positive pressure could not exist next to a negative pressure without a dividing container to contain them from, going into each other, because the negative pressure would always go into the higher pressure would always go into the negative pressure no matter what.
Yep.
Without a container. So it's called entropy. And they're telling us that the container is gravity. And then when we ask them what gravity is, they can't tell us.
I don't know.
Yeah, but gravity sure is really selective, isn't it? Because it holds us down, but it holds us down as well as all of the millions and billions of gallons of ocean water on this spinning ball. But then we can stand up and our muscles aren't collapsing. And then birds and bees and little bugs can fly. And then a 1,000,000-pound cloud, because they say the average cumulus cloud weighs about 1,000,000 pounds. They say that can float above our heads. But then gravity also knows where it needs to hold the atmosphere up against the boundary of space, where they say that there's a negative 14 torr, what they call it, the vacuum, negative 14 torr. It's a really powerful vacuum.
But in your background is the container for the Earth, aka the rakia or the firmament, which I will get into that in a. Yep, there you go. Hopefully you can see it. Wait, let's do this. Let's put you full screen.
Okay.
There we go. Oh yeah.
Let me go to the other side.
There is the rakia, the firmaments, plural.
Good times.
So we'll get it. I'll get into that on another topic. So when you're talking to people and you ask a question that they can't answer, their go-to answers or their two excuses normally are refraction and gravity. They're magical friends that they call upon when they can't explain something.
They do, yeah. That happens.
So I think you pretty much already hinted on this slide. So I got a funny story. So I had lunch before we went to Rock City last weekend. I was blessed. It was really cool. I had Mikey Jenny sitting next to me, and I was hanging out with my sister and three of her kids, and the wifey, Candace. And nice. Of course, if I'm sitting next to Mr. Mikey Jenny, we're going to be talking about this. And so gravity came up. Well, I asked my nephew, one of my nephews, I ruined on the truth about creation. And the other one, he's still in public school, and so they get at it. So he still believes in the globe. So I asked him, I was like, what's your number one proof for the globe? And he said gravity. And so I did this right here, which a lot of people do when I drop my phone on the table. And I was like, did I prove gravity? He was like, yeah. I was like, and then I pretty much hit him with what you're talking about. Well, how do you explain millions of pounds of water in the clouds not being pulled down? And then he said some gobbledygook that he just made up. It was pretty funny. So that was definitely a good time. So
they ride on the winds. Oh,
that's a cool explanation.
You got to do this when you say it too. Here was a good quote by a guy named Gerard Hickson. He was an author. He said, reduced to simplicity, gravitation is said to be that which attracts everything towards every other thing. That does not tell us much, and yet the little it does tell us is not true. For a thoughtful observer knows very well that everything is not attracted towards every other thing. Because think about it, like they say that, okay, the reason that the moon is in a orbital lock and orbiting the Earth is because of gravity. So then why, if gravity also makes things stick and pull towards the Earth, why after millions and billions of years, supposedly, is the moon still in this circle of orbiting the Earth instead of having been pulled towards the Earth? It's all this bit, just a bunch of gobbledygook, like you said, contradictions.
Yep.
Confusion.